The slam dunk contest.
Here comes Michael Jordan.
Because it wasn't just for us, it was for the fans, though.
Just powered up to Super Mario.
Mario!
Let's go home!
On the mat.
And now,
Rookie Daryl Dawkins.
The elevation, the hang time, the explosion.
Dunk was far from sight. In the final round,
race about it. That was
Kobe Bryant
nice. Oh!
Yes.
But look at his style.
made sure to seize the moment. Richardson did it. Cemented.
It's a good opinion. Here we go.
Both men brought their A game.
This is Gladiator. You get.
Evan saw some tremendous competition and pageantry.
Dunks. They're not just 2 points on the scoreboard, they're statements. Explosive, electrifying, and sometimes downright disrespectful. The best dunks in NBA history are the ones that left fans speechless, defenders embarrassed, and entire arenas on their feet. Some were pure power, others were works of art. But they all had one thing in common. They made history. But which dunks stand above the rest? Which moments redefined what it meant to take flight in the NBA? Get ready as we break down the best dunks in basketball history. The moments that defied gravity, shattered expectations, and became legendary. The birth of the slam dunk, a revolution in the air. Before we get into the greatest dunks ever, let's take a quick step back. Believe it or not, there was a time when dunking was considered controversial, even unsportsmanlike. In the early years of basketball, the game was built around fundamentals. Crisp passing, mid-range jumpers, and layups. But then, the dunk arrived, and everything changed. The first true dunkers started making waves in the 1950s and 60s, with players like Wilt Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor throwing down rim-rattling slams that stunned audiences. But the NBA truly embraced dunking in the 1970s, with Julius Dr. J. Irving bringing style and finesse to the art of the slam. Then, in the 1980s, a young Michael Jordan took it to another level, making dunking not just an athletic feat, but a cultural phenomenon. And now, let's get into the dunks that made history. 1. Vince Carter's Olympic dunk over Frederick Weiss, 2000. Some dunks are so ridiculous they defy logic, and Vince Carter's dunk over 7 feet 2 inches, French center Frederick Weiss in the 2000 Olympics, might be the most disrespectful one of all time. Carter didn't just dunk on Weiss. He dunked over him. He took off, soared through the air like a human missile, and cleared Weiss entirely before slamming the ball through the hoop. The French media dubbed it Le Dunk de la Mort, the dunk of death. And honestly, they weren't wrong. That dunk wasn't just a highlight, it was a declaration. Carter had just announced himself as the most electrifying dunker the game had ever seen. 2. Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk, 1988 dunk contest. When you think of an iconic dunk, chances are this is the one that comes to mind. The 1988 NBA Slam Dunk Contest featured a legendary showdown between Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, but Jordan sealed the win with a dunk that still defines his career. With the contest on the line, Jordan took off from the free throw line, gliding through the air with the grace of a superhero before throwing it down with ease. The crowd erupted. The judges had no choice but to give it a perfect score. And just like that, Air Jordan became more than a nickname. It became a legacy. 3. Shaquille O'Neal breaks the rim, 1993. Power. Sheer, unstoppable power. That's what Shaquille O'Neal brought to the NBA, and nothing showcased it better than his backboard-shattering dunks. In his rookie season with the Orlando Magic, Shaq dunked so hard that he didn't just break the rim. He broke the entire backboard. The entire hoop structure collapsed, sending glass everywhere and forcing a game delay. It wasn't the first time Shaq would do this either. The league had to reinforce backboards because he kept destroying them. If that's not the ultimate sign of dominance, what is? 4. LeBron James alley-oop dunk versus Boston Celtics, 2013 playoffs. Sometimes, a dunk isn't just about style. It's about sending a message. That's exactly what LeBron James did in Game 6 of the 2013 Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Dwayne Wade tossed the ball up, and LeBron came flying through the lane like a freight train, throwing down one of the most vicious alley-oop slams in playoff history. But it wasn't just the dunk. It was what it symbolized. This was LeBron saying, "We're not losing this game." And he was right. Miami went on to win the series and eventually the championship, with this dunk serving as a turning point. 5. Blake Griffin jumps over Kendrick Perkins, 2012. If you played defense in the early 2000s, guarding Blake Griffin was a nightmare. His dunks weren't just powerful, they were personal, and no one knows that better than Kendrick Perkins. In 2012, Griffin caught the ball in the paint, took one step, and elevated over Perkins like he wasn't even there. The dunk was so devastating that it effectively ended Perkins' reputation as a shot blocker. It was raw, unfiltered power. Griffin making a statement that he was one of the most dominant dunkers of his era. The evolution of dunking. Where do we go from here? Over the decades, dunking has evolved from a controversial move to the most exciting play in basketball. The NBA Slam Dunk Contest continues to push the limits of what's possible, with players pulling off 360s, windmills, and even jumping over cars. Young stars like Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, and Anthony Edwards are carrying the torch, proving that dunking will never go out of style. But while the future of dunking is bright, the legends of the past still loom large. Because the best dunks in NBA history aren't just about athleticism. They're about moments. Moments where time seemed to freeze, where the impossible became real, and where basketball reached new heights, literally. Conclusion: the art of the dunk. A dunk isn't just a play. It's a statement. It's raw emotion, athleticism, and showmanship all rolled into one. The best dunks in NBA history weren't just about putting the ball through the hoop. They were about defining eras, embarrassing defenders, and making sure that moment would never be forgotten. From Jordan's gravity-defying leap to Vince Carter's impossible Olympic slam, these moments will live forever in NBA history. And as long as basketball is played, players will keep soaring higher, trying to top the legends that came before them. So next time you see a dunk that makes you jump out of your seat, remember, you just witnessed history in the making.